Bard's Tale 3, same as its predecessors, is a fantasy role-playing. You receive a letter from a dying man saying that during celebration of your defeat of the evil wizard Mangar, his true master, the mad god Tarjan, destroyed the town of Shara-Brae. So, naturally, your task is to defeat the mad god. Bard's Tale 3 introduced auto-mapping system to the series, usable artifacts, 2 new spellcasting classes of Geomancer and Chronomancer, and more varied puzzle-filled quests. Sorcerian is a cross between traditional RPGs and platformers with real-time action combat. It is set in a fantasy land known as Pentawa, king of which hires your party of adventurers to retrieve a precious scepter from a dungeon where it's guarded by the evil demonic Lord Oaks. You start by creating a party of 4, choosing between fighter, wizard, elf and dwarf, and yes, the game treats races and classes as equals. You get to develop them and their skills, learn 120 different spells, enchant weapons, pick up side quests, and visit many locations in and outside of towns. In Dragon Wars, the magic was outlawed, and you and your party are imprisoned for life in a place called Purgatory, on a suspicion of spellcasting. Armed with nothing but your wits and said magic, you have to get out. The game is viewed from first-person perspective. You can have up to 7 heroes in your party, split between the starting, recruited and summoned ones. And you start the game by creating 4 of them, or by importing from any of the Bard's Tales games. A mysterious cult of spellcasters known only as Black Circle is trying to revive Dreadlord, a powerful and evil lich. Your party is summoned magically through a well to a tiny mining town to deal with the Great Menace. You must find the titular Silverblades, or whatever's left of them, as they were historically Dreadlord's sworn enemies, and join forces. Secret of the Silverblades is the 3rd game in Forgotten Realms, part of SSI's Goldbox series of RPGs, and features turn-based top-down tactical combat and first-person perspective adventuring and exploration. Knights of Legend is a fantasy turn-based role-playing. It takes place in the land of Ashtalria, where the villain of the game, Pildar, captured the Duke, ruler of the land, and the famous warrior Segalion, all in a one-sweep kidnapping. You lead your party of adventurers to defeat the Pildar and rescue said captives. The game is viewed from a top-down perspective, and combat takes place on separate, strategic screens. Interestingly enough, unlike many other games at the time, Knights of Legend allowed for targeting of individual body parts during combat. Hard Nova is an epic sci-fi space exploration RPG. You're a mercenary who lost his ship and crew when it was shot down, and having many contracts to fulfill, you need to restart your career in a small flyer, hiring new crew and performing quests, all the while seeing events of huge magnitude unfold around you. Stuff like dying suns, threatening billions, never-ending wars between huge factions, and 4 races competing for everything. There are skills, upgrades, land and ship combat, and a fully open world. It's huge. B.A.T, so Bureau of Astral Troubleshooters, is a first-person cyberpunk dark sci-fi RPG that is set in the 22nd century. B.A.T is an ultra-secret organization employed and run by the so-called Confederation of Galaxies, and being part of it, you'll be sent off on various often spy/detective work-related missions on numerous planets. Most of the story plays out like a point-and-click adventure game, with combat happening randomly and played out in real time. When fighting, you're able to actively sidestep and dodge attacks. The Lord of the Rings Volume 1 is a fantasy RPG based on the first book in the famous trilogy and follows the events of it rather closely. You have a full control of all members of the Fellowship and can take numerous side quests when on your main mission. Combat is turn-based, and unlike most other games in the genre, your characters don't earn experience points or levels, and get stronger by acquiring better gear and learning new abilities. If you read the trilogy or saw the movies and loved them, this first part in Never Finished Trilogy is a must-play. Zeliard is a side-view RPG platformer. The ancient demon Yashin, aka Emperor of Chaos, emerges from a 1,000-years-long slumber to unleash his wrath on a prospering and peaceful kingdom of Zeliard, seemingly in revenge for what happened ages ago. You play as Knight Duke Garland, sent by the spirits to save the kingdom and princess that was turned to stone. To do so, however, you must first recover 9 magical jewels, the so-called Tears of Esmesanti, and while going about it, also slay the demon Jashin. Circuit's Edge is a sci-fi detective mystery adventure RPG hybrid. It depicts a dark version of the future in which the world has become the sole dominant power. You're married Adran, a PI who's been out of luck and found himself in even less fortunate situation being framed for the murder he did not commit. A powerful mafia boss saves you from the prosecution in exchange for you figuring out who the killer was. That, however, is barely what the game starts with, as the plot thickens fast and it's quite obvious that a larger, more nefarious scheme is at play. Megatraveller is space sci-fi RPG based on a tabletop Traveller games. It takes place in the official Travel universe and features faithful to original character creation and gameplay mechanics. You control up to 5 ex-military adventurers and have to save the human civilization, which in the Traveller universe is called the Imperium. The neighboring race of aliens, going by the name of Zhodani, is conspiring against Imperium and seek its downfall. The game is played in real time and includes planetary and space exploration, combat and trading, and all that on 228 planets spanning 8 solar systems. The Dark Heart of Uukrul is a first-person perspective turn-based RPG in which you control a party of 4 adventurers, a fighter, a paladin, a priest and a magician. The great evil Uukrul, responsible for the killing of so-called ancients eons ago, is presumed long gone, or was, as grim signs point to the possibility of his return. A party is sent to investigate, but after 18 months of no contact, the council assumes the worst. Your party is sent to find out what happened with the first and defeat the Uukrul if rumors of his return would prove to be real. A hero of Britannia avatar, his friend Dr. Rafkin and reporter Jamie Malone, by a series of unfortunate events, are mysteriously transported to the seemingly otherworldly fantasy place known as the Valley of Eodon. It's a place where humans, Neanderthals, dinosaurs, as well as the sentient reptiles and insect species coexist. Avatar befriends a local woman, daughter of a Kurak tribe chieftain, just to have her and his friends kidnapped. Now, he must rescue them all and help locals to sort out differences so that they could unite against a huge common threat. Quest for Glory 2 Trial by Fire is an adventure RPG mixture, and a follow-up to the first game. It takes place in a town of Shapir and its surrounding desert, and depicts the land troubled by the powerful elemental spirits. Something or someone must be behind these happenings, and you're the one to figure it out. Trial by Fire mixes adventuring inventory puzzles and dialogues with RPG-centric classes, attributes, character growth and combat, making for a very enjoyable experience if you can overlook the need to use the text parser that is. Champions of Krynn is SSI's first in the famous Dragonlance Goldbox series of AD&D RPGs. The War of the Lands is over, dragon armies have fallen, but the new evil seems to lurk in the dark, awaiting for the best moment to strike. Your party's quest is to find the nefarious Myrtani and defeat him and his forces. Same as in other Goldbox games, the traversal and exploration is in first-person perspective, while combat is top-down, tactical and turn-based, and all the characters in it are controlled separately. Naturally, the game's full of dungeons, towns and outposts to explore. Buck Rogers' Countdown to Doomsday is a sci-fi RPG in an interplanetary future setting. Years after the Earth was devastated in a nuclear war, the Earth is at mercy of Ram, a superpower based around Mercury and surrounding asteroids that is largely exploiting the remaining Earth's resources. You, Buck Rogers, decide to join Neo, the last group of civilized rebels on Earth, to fight for it and its future. Unlike other Gold Box games, however, the classes you can pick from when creating your party of 6 are more futuristic. So Rocket Jock, whatever that is, Warrior, Medic, Rogue and Engineer. Tunnels and Trolls Crusaders of Khazan is a turn-based fantasy RPG. After 400-years-long war, humans and monsters signed a peace treaty, one with a pen and the other with a claw. Dragonland seemed to finally enter a time of prosperity. It was not long-lasting, however, as the leader of the monsters proclaimed the treaty invalid and began attacking human settlements. You and your group of adventurers are tasked with finding and rescuing Khazan, the only one who is said to be able to save humanity. Wizardry Bane of the Cosmic Forge is a 6th title in the long-running Wizardry series of RPGs and a first in the Dark Savant trilogy. It's a standalone experience though, so lack of familiarity with earlier titles or follow-ups is not a game-breaking issue. You enter an abandoned for years castle in search for the Cosmic Forge, a mythical pen that is said to control destiny, time and space, and anything written with it instantly becomes true. Wizardry offers 11 races and 14 classes to pick when creating your party of 6, so there's a lot to mix and match here to customize it to your liking. Ultima 6: The False Prophet is considered one of the best and most important role-playing games in the history of gaming. After being saved by his friends in the nick of time, Avatar learns that Britannia has been invaded by a mysterious race of gargoyles that occupied shrines of virtue and are not planning on leaving anytime soon. As the game progresses, he learns that rather than killing them all, it's better to find a way to bring a long-lasting peace between the two races. Vast, non-linear branching story and huge open world allowed for getting lost in the game world without following the plot at all. If you liked the video, hit those like and subscribe buttons below, and maybe share it too, it helps more than you know. If you didn't, then don't naturally. It was fun talking to you as usual, and I'll see you, or more accurately, talk to you very soon.